That is the atmosphere that should characterize a people that lay claim to being God's. And that is what the text before us is calling us to do. Turn with me, please, to 1 Chronicles, the 19th chapter and the 12th verse. 1 Chronicles, chapter 19 and verse 12. Here's what it says. Job is speaking according to the 11th verse to his own brother Abishai. And Abishai is as much of a warrior as Job himself, the commander of Israel's army, is. And they're about to face this enemy. It's a formidable force. And they know it's not going to be an easy battle. But it's something that we must engage in and emerge out of victorious. And to be victorious, here is the attitude that they ought to adopt. Job said, if the Assyrians are too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the children of Ammon are too strong for me or for you, then I will help you. Take note of those two terms. You shall help me. I shall help you. We are brothers. I want to see to it that you don't meet with any hurt. And you see to it that I don't meet with any hurt. Let's see that no harm comes to either of us. And the only way we can attain to that is if you help me and I also help you. So let's help each other. Here are brothers who love each other. Brothers who will say, I will not allow anyone to wound you. At the cost of my life, at the cost of my well-being, will you be wounded. But while I have the stamina, the strength, none will touch you. When Jeannie read from 1 Timothy 5, I hope you noticed that we're saying here is brotherly love, here is sisterly love. Put every person at the level at which they are, so that you may relate to them very well. Because we can only relate to people according to the picture of them that we have. If we see them as nothing, we shall treat them as nothing. If we see them as foreigners, we shall treat them as foreigners. If we see them as servants, that's just about it. We shall love their service, even though we may not love them. And the story goes on. But the text is calling us to begin to realize that as human beings are special in the sight of God, each entity called human should be looked at in the sight of other humans from the viewpoint of God. And I pause to ask myself this question. Do I really look at all of you as God looks at you? Or as look at you with my human eyes and just call you Jennifer, and just call you Delphine, and just call you, I was about to mention the name of someone here. I think I should be careful. The whole idea is, when that name hits our ears, then we should say, how does God see you? Who are you in God's sight? And let's face it, those of us who have siblings, we know how defensive we are of those, if we are in our right minds, of course. Because the moment you hurt one who is attached to me by blood, you hurt me. A story is told of a pastor, I don't know whether from Asia or Africa or whatever, who said to his son, his only son, go and do boxing with the guy next door. And the boy says, Daddy, you know he's a professional boxer. I can't do that. And the father says, this is a command from your father. Because when you grow up, you must defend your sisters. No, Dad, I can't do that. The father says, go on, son, and do it. And the boy went and did it. It was hard, but soon he became a professional boxer himself. One time, as he was descending the stairway in his father's house, he noticed a boy troubling one of his sisters. He quickly went over, and before long, that boy was on the ground. And he was raining blows on him. The father passed by and said, son, what's happening? The boy did not even look at the father, but kept on pounding this fellow. I found him ill-treating my sister. And the father walked over and said, get on him, son, get on him. I suppose even the peace people amongst us might forget our peacefulness when those who are dear to us are troubled, because we don't want them to be hurt. And that is what Abishagi and Job are telling us here. That normally peaceful people would realize, if you touch that which I love, you touch me. And it will not be destroyed before you destroy me. Can ever any of us say we have stood like that for people who set foot in this church hall and call themselves Christians? Or we love them with our eyes, we love them with our lips, but when it comes to staking our lives, we say, no, not for you. Each of us can answer that question because we know what we see in others, we know how we feel about the others, and we know how we respond in our relationships with the others. But to be those who truly love and care for the brothers and sisters in the site in which God is calling us to live with one another as God's people, we need to begin at that place where we see each other for who we really are. Is that a thing? Who are we to each other? In other words, I can look around. Who is Martha to me? Who is Betha to me? Who is Ginny to me? Who is Debbie to me? Who is Chuck to me? Who is Ruth? Who? All of you, I can name all of you. Who are you to me? And you look around and say, who is this one to me?
Brothers.
Who is he?
Brothers.
Yes, David. But do we really acknowledge that? And we know the implications of that. Here's what the text teaches us. Job says to Abishai, we share the same mother. So as Job and Abishai share the same mother, we also share the same parentage in God, as surely as we are born again. Not by baptism, not through the commandments, not through our goodness, but by the touch of God, the precious Spirit. If as surely as it can be said about us, you were born of flesh, now you are born of spirit, then we share divine parentage. And let me tell you something, that relationship should mean more to us than physical relationship. If my siblings in the blood mean much to me, then those who relate to me spiritually should mean even more to me. For while blood is thicker than water, the spirit is infinitely bigger than blood. But how many of us identify that? And how many of us can relate to the fact that we value those who have tasted and known the kindness of the Lord above mere physical relationships? I'm not downplaying the fact that when you are a father, when you are a mother, you have a responsibility to your children. When you are a brother, when you are a sister, you have a responsibility to your sibling. You're not downplaying that. But we're saying, in the face of all that, we are never at all invited to downplay our spiritual relationships. On the contrary, we are meant to see them as they stand. Is somebody born again? then they are eternally bonded to you. You are bonded in Christ. But we see that. And notice how Ephesians put it. You are one in spirit, one in witness, one in hope, one in God, one in so many areas. Do we realize these codes that bind us together? We sang, blessed be the tie that binds. And perhaps it came out of our words, but no sense of bonding was ever felt. Let's ask ourselves, do we really sense it? Do we really realize it? As Abishagi was a fellow soldier with Joab, the commander of the army, so are we also fellow soldiers in the army of God. For we are told very plainly in the book of Timothy, no soldier on service entangles himself in civilian pursuits, for his desire is to please him who has enlisted him. And we have been enlisted by our God in the army of God, about which you had a look not so long ago. For they came together and was like the army of God. We can't serve on the same army and fail to identify our bonding and think we are going to succeed. But we must coordinate our efforts in order that we may together pound the enemy so we may emerge triumphant. But do I definitely see in you a co-worker? Do I definitely see in you a co-fighter, a fellow warrior? Do I? And do I invoke, do I call upon you to fight with me? Do you do the same with me? Do you do the same with the others? Or all we do is, okay, Sunday has come, see you next time. Whatever happens, whatever you do, as long as I see you on Sunday. That's not what this text is telling us. As long as there is an enemy, we will plan together and we will maneuver together that we may emerge together victorious. It doesn't stop there. As Job stood side by side in the physical sense with his brother Abishai, so do we stand side by side in the spiritual sense. We will walk with each other. We will work side by side. And we will talk with each other so that people by our love may know that we are Christians by our love. It's easier said than done, isn't it? But this is the call of God. The call of God upon those of us who lay claim to being His. And if we do not demonstrate it, let me ask the question, then who will? Oh, it's so hard to do. You know why it's hard? Because we are disobedient. As long as we obey, it will be very easy. What becomes easy is that which we allow God to work through us. But it becomes hard because we want to work it our way. And the moment we try that, we fail. But the moment we say, God, I don't understand it, I don't know how it will work, but you said I should do it, then I want to be it, and so act it. Then you will be marveling at how it just flows. But the stubbornness, the stiff-neckedness of the children of Israel has rubbed onto us. And so we dare say, how can I be concerned about other people? I must be concerned about myself. And as we said not so long ago, let me learn how to love myself. Job and Abishai had Israel's salvation at heart. We must have God's glory at heart. And God is glorified when we band up together, are seen to be a formidable force for God, and go out for God, that people may know God is alive and at work today. How are we doing it? Because I know that for some of us, the next time we just think about each other will be when again we meet next Sunday. As soon as we walk out of there, everything about Parrsboro United Baptist Church remains here until we have Pie Day, Strawberry Day, or another Sunday. The question I ask myself, how does God look at you? If you are His, He looks at you as one for whom Jesus died. Now, just drink that in for a moment. If Jesus died for you, then in all existence, there is no soul, as far as God is concerned, more precious than you. And do I really see you as that? But why shouldn't I see you as that when God sees you like that? You are heaven bound. You are heaven's best. You are heaven's cream. You are heaven's glory. You are heaven's treasure. That's who you are. As sure as you are born again, you're like that.
Amen.
Amen.
Do I treat lightly a person who is treated like that by God? That's the question I ask myself. And you do the same. One for whom? I was speaking at a competition between theological colleges in soccer. And I made them laugh and say, you see, soon we'll move from here and go to the sports field. And when we're on the sports field, some of us don't want our opponents to score. And because to stop them scoring, you want to trip your friend and make them fall. And then I said, do you want to bring to the ground one for whom Jesus died? You see, that did seem to be a seeming joke. But this is the whole idea, that those of us who say we are Christians do not want to be a stumbling block to someone who is called a Christian. And we don't even want to be a blockade to those who are coming to Christ, who are potential. Because if you are not Christians, then they are potential Christians.
Amen.
And if they are potential Christians, then you want to say, I want to exhibit as much as possible what is of God in me, that they may come to this God. So God loves a lot those who are His, and loves enough those who are not His to bring them to Himself. Is this the way we love each other? And if that is the way, then let's ask ourselves the next question. What do we need to do to demonstrate to each other that we know who we are to each other? Did I speak English better? Okay. Well, Peter tells us, 1 Peter and chapter 2, verse 17, honor all people. Have respect for all the people. And notice what Job tells his brother Abishai, and he's in agreement with his brother. If need arises, you come and help me. If need arises, I will come and help you. Let's help. How many times do you go to people's offices and the moment you knock in their office, say, how may I help you? And we should go in and say, okay, today I've come to ask you, how may I help you? This is one question that, we may give to each other. May I be of help to you? For if we love people, we want to be of help to them, and we want them to be of help to us. But how many of us use others, and we are glad to have them be used so that it benefits us? We may not say it, but our actions reveal. We want their property, we want their pennies, we want their energy, we want everything about them. And say, I'm happy with so-and-so. But when we search ourselves, we find we are happy with so-and-so because they give us their food, they give us their position, they give us this and that, and they are helpful to us. The question is, how helpful am I to them? They are giving out to me. What am I giving to them? They're pouring themselves into me. How am I pouring myself into them? I don't know about here, but some of our most wealthy business people in my country, I notice, stop employing Christians. Because when they employ Christians, they say, yeah, now I'm working for my brother. And they become lazy at work because they're working for fellow Christians. Those are the ones who don't know how to read their Bibles. When they read their Bibles, I say, if you're working for a Christian, work even better because you're working for somebody who belongs to God. But there are those of us who are like that. What is there in this thing for me? That is an attitude of there being no love. Because where there is love, we don't look at what's in it for you, we look at what is in it for the next person.
Amen. Yeah.
That is the teaching of God's word, my friend. What is the text telling us? Watch out for each other's backs. If the enemy is about to destroy me, block the enemy. That's how you watch your brother's back. If the enemy is about to destroy you, I'll be there so that both of us are safe because we're on the lookout. I met just one of the prominent members of our society who said to me, right in the street, I've now lived so many years in Parrsboro. I'm not a part of Parrsboro, but I just moved here. And in these many years that I've lived here, not once have I heard someone come to me and say a bad thing about the next person. I said, that's interesting. Isn't that interesting? I would wish that would be said about us as Parrsboro United Baptist Church. I never hear anybody say from Parrsboro United Baptist Church that a bad thing about any member of their church. I never hear them say that. But just go into the compound, just lend yourself a little ear, and you hear how some of us, maybe not meaning to hurt, just something slips out of our mouth that just speaks about the next person. But as somebody has said, when you're in Parrsboro, be careful. Everybody is related to everybody. Yeah, but apparently I've heard so much, And so I seem to be related in that sense. So be careful. And so you see, it's important that they begin to hear us say sweet things about one another. That's how we keep each other's backs. Oh, you're talking about this one. That one comes to our church. If you're saying something bad about them, then don't say it to me. If you have something to say about them, say it to them. If you can't say it to them, then don't say it to me. But normally we relish that. And it's very nice to talk about others. But we forget that as soon as we talk about others, now will be the next subject. It doesn't help. But if we talk about positive things, that's going to be very helpful. And by and large, this church has been very good about talking positive things about this church. And that is how we keep each other's back. Don't let your brother or your sister be the subject of negative criticism in your presence. Remember those 4 words: attend the church, commend the church, defend the church, and extend the church. Well, we shouldn't stop there. We need to wish each other well. Wish each other well. Yes. Let me ask you, my brother, just be honest, my sister. When did you last pray for me? I'm your pastor. If there is somebody who should be on your lips more often than not, your pastor should. When did you just go beside God, your bed, and for just 5 minutes say, Father in heaven, today I'm just praying for Emmanuel. Let him be a pastor indeed. And when did you last do that? But if I say, my brother, my sister, did you love me? Yes, Pastor, yes. Do you love me and yet you can't pray for me? Do you? Do I love you and yet I can't mention you before God? Do I? Because if I can't do anything else for you, I can say, God, what I can't do, you do. That's what prayer is. But notice most of our prayers, God, today give me bread to eat and clothes to wear, friends to play with. See how much we are full of ourselves. Bless my mother, and nothing wrong with that, but you see, when did Job get the fullness of blessing? Not when he talked about himself, not when he prayed for himself. When he prayed for the three friends who were miserable comforters, then God turned the blessing over to him. Don't go looking for the blessing, just do what is right, and then the blessing will follow. If the reason I'm going to pray to God is that I may have the blessing, then I get it all wrong. But if the reason I'm praying to God is that I may enjoy God for who He is, then I'm doing what is right. For what reason are you approaching God? And to what end are you approaching God for others? For remember, not only do you honor God, God puts it this way: outdo one another in showing honor. For notice the call to worship we had. Let love be genuine. Hate what is evil and cling to what is good. And then it goes on to say, weep with those who weep, rejoice with those who rejoice. Compete, if you like, in showing honor for one another. In other words, outdo one another in showing honor. Think about it. Not envying one another, not competing with one another, but enjoying one another and outdo one another in enjoying each other. Imagine with me what it would be like. Everybody here enjoys everybody. Think about that. I can imagine the heavenly atmosphere that will make whoever walks in say, what was that hit me when I walked into Parrsboro United Baptist Church worship? What was that? And this is what Paul says. When you are amongst yourself, even if you speak in 1,000 tongues, nobody will be impressed. But when you are there and are speaking the presence of God and addressing the need in the human heart, people will be convicted and they will come to your God. Isn't that what it's all about? And don't you want to be part of that? Well, the Holy Book is calling you to enjoy the others. Don't envy them. Empty yourself into them. Here is the test. How did Jesus show us love? 1 John and chapter 3, verse 16. By this we know love, that He died for us. And therefore, we also ought to die for one another. I think, preacher, you got it wrong. How can I die for somebody else? Well, that's the clear teaching of God's way. This is love. Die for one another. When I was in the teaching profession, I don't know if I told you the story, I bought a little bicycle. And the little worship group that I had with me at the time came to me as a group and said, teacher, we come to you. They're just students. And they said, we are selling our bicycle. I said, which bicycle? So the one you are riding. I looked at them and said, these fellows that just come and I've introduced Jesus and then it's their bicycle. I said, you mean my? He said, no, it's not your bicycle, it's our bicycle. But that hit me. They became so attached to me and they felt with me that what I owned, they owned with me. And so if my bicycle was keeping me away from them, because they said, the moment you bought your bicycle, you've been everywhere and we don't have as much of you as we should have. So we are selling it so that you may minister to us. And that was a good thing to hit me with. We owned everything. And if I emptied myself into them, I would realize not a thing I had was mine. Isn't that how the Hebrews people went? Nobody had anything but they all their own. But they had all things in common. If my car broke down today, would you let me use tomorrow? Think about the thing you cherish the most. If one of us came to you and said, this is my need, would you give them that? But that's what the Bible is telling us. What is good for you, empty yourself into the other. Will we do that, church? Will we? May God help us. Let's say who we are to each other. And then let's help each other.